Hi, and welcome to day 5 of the 35-day Somatic Yoga Challenge. I'm so excited to be here with you. I'm super duper excited about day 5, which is today's practice, which is reset. As I said, we're going to go through a 5-day cycle 7 times throughout these 35 days we'll be sharing together. And I'm so excited about today because I believe this is what makes this challenge so different from any other type of challenge that is out there typically in the fitness world. This is more so wellness focused, right? And so this is just to show that as we're doing these physical challenges to our body, it's also important to connect the things that we're doing to our minds and to take the same amount of energy and effort into our thoughts, our plans, our emotions, and really be present with what's going on up here, right? Because it's all connected. So, what we'll be doing with our time during these reset sessions, they will also be 35 minutes. But what we'll be doing instead of doing a physical practice, so you don't need to be on a mat, you can be on your couch. I'm on my mat. You won't need any props. What you might need though is a journal, because I will be giving journal prompts for each week. You might want water or tea, a comfy blanket. What we'll be doing for all of them is some mindfulness and meditation. I will be giving you grounding techniques in each of them to take with you, hopefully to do throughout the week outside of class, and breathing techniques to practice. And if you like it, you can again use them outside of class. So I want to make sure that you're leaving with takeaways for things that you can be doing once you finish your 35 minutes a day for the challenge that can help to improve your quality of life, enhance the way that you are treating your body, treating your mind, right? And so that's my intention. I'll also be sharing little tidbits of just healthy things I've been trying out. I'm always trying something or doing something. So I'll be sharing those healthy tidbits also each week. And so I won't forget the healthy tidbit for this week. This is more so like a reminder too, is to take your vitamin D. Take your vitamin D. Take your vitamin D. Take your vitamin D. And I'm saying this as a reminder to myself. I literally went on vacation, took my vitamin D with me, and didn't take any of it. Take your vitamin D. Many of us are vitamin D deficient. And so it's very important that we are taking our vitamin D supplements. Something else that I've been taking for a while that I like is Shilajit, and it can be taken as a honey packet. The straight Shilajit is spelled Shilajit. The straight Shilajit is like a resin. But they have a woman's version that is made in these strawberry like honey packets that are really yummy. And those have additional things in it that are really good for women. Excuse me. Okay. That are really good for women. And the reason why I bring this up is because recently I saw a video about saffron tea and how that can help to boost your mood. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And the creator was showing the little strings of saffron, because I thought I'd never seen saffron. They're like these little tiny red strings. And when I take my Shilajit, I put it in my tea. There are always these tiny little red strings in it. And I realized, I was like, oh, that's a saffron, because the Shilajit, the women's ones, the honey packets, has saffron in it. And I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Maybe it's Shilajit. I don't know. But the women's ones, they do change the spelling to Shelajit, like she legit, whatever. But it has saffron in it, which can help boost your mood. It's supposed to help with your cramps. It's supposed to help with your recovery if you work out a lot, which I do. So those are my recommendations for this week. Something else that I'll be adding on this week that's new that I haven't been doing is juicing from home more regularly, and also doing like these loaded waters that I've been seeing. So instead of just drinking plain water, doing all these waters that are like packed with different things outside of my typical mint, cucumber, lemon combo, which I love. But I've been seeing these different water preps, and I just got a lot of recommendations from my sister and some juice recipes from my sister. So those will be up on the Patreon. And but take that as your reminder. Stay hydrated, especially over the summertime. Juice if you can. Try out some of those loaded waters and take your vitamin D and try out She Legit. But check and make sure it's safe for you. Please check all of these things with your doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm just your healthy friend. So, all right, and somatic yoga coach. Alrighty, so that is the healthy tip, healthy reminder for this cycle, for this week's reset, because our physical wellness is important, not just with how we're moving our body, but also with what we're putting into our body. So I'll be sharing different things throughout our 35 days together and hopefully find it helpful. On the Patreon, this will be on the communal page, so people can add comments and add things that are helpful for them, or come back and let me know, like, hey, I tried it and I liked it, which hopefully is the review. All right. So, with that said, we'll start to move into the next portion of our time together, which is our grounding. So, we'll take some time to get grounded, get present, start to settle in. And then I will be sharing a grounding technique once we've done a little bit of grounding together. And then we'll get into our journal prompts for this week. And then we'll do some more grounding and do a breathing technique to close. Okay. So when you're ready, take a moment to get comfortable in your seat. So if you are seated on the floor, welcome to have your legs crossed. Whatever way is comfortable for you. I have my blankie, I have my bolster behind me. I'm nice and comfy and cozy. You might take a sip of tea or water. Okay. When you're ready, start to root down into your seat and lengthen your spine up. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. And bring your hands anywhere that's grounding for you. So that maybe on your lap, palms up or down, and maybe resting somewhere on your body. And before you start to close your eyes, if that's what you're doing, what I invite you to do is take a moment to look around your space. See if you can find 5 things that are green. Welcome to use the screen for one. If you can't find 5 things, you can find close to the number 5, or as close to the shade of green. Being sure to look over your shoulder too. Once you're done finding the 5 things that are in green, I invite you to find 4 things that are blue. Welcome to keep looking around your space. See if you can find 3 things in your space that are purple. Purple things. Or as close to the shade of purple as you can find. 2 things in your space that are orange. And maybe 1 thing in your space that is your favorite color. Closest thing to your favorite color in the space that you're in right now. If there was anything that you noticed in your space that caught your eye, that was grounding to look at, settling to look at, even just interesting to look at. Welcome to keep staring or gazing at that thing. Welcome to stay with it. You also might make a note in your mind that you are always welcome to go back to whatever that thing is that you found. And when you're ready, we'll start to come back together. I invite you here to take a moment to check in with your body and notice how you feel. Notice what you feel in this moment. What are you aware of? And when I invite you to notice sensation, know that I'm asking that without any judgment. So I'm not expecting you to label whether something feels good or bad. Just noticing what is it that you feel in your body right now. Where do you feel it? How would you describe it? Can you allow your awareness to shift somewhere else and notice something else? What else do you notice? Might it feel better to allow yourself to focus on that one thing? Does that feel tolerable to stay with it? So maybe you found something that feels good. Maybe a part of you feels settled, feels open, feels warm. If you found something that felt good or settled or open, tolerable even, can you allow yourself to stay with it? Just see what happens. Welcome to stay with that sensation you're noticing now. Or you might allow your awareness to shift somewhere else. Again, it doesn't have to feel good or bad. Maybe it's something that feels a little more uncomfortable, a little sore. Maybe you notice a tightness somewhere. Does it feel tolerable to stay with that? Give it your undivided attention for a moment. Noticing what happens as you're present with your body. You're welcome to stay with this sensation, or you can come back to one that felt grounding for you. Welcome to shift your eyes back to whatever you notice in your space that felt grounding for you. I'm going to kind of move around a little bit here. And we'll start to maybe take another big breath in. We're going to let it out with a sigh. Wiggle the body out. Itchy my back. Ooh. All right, and we'll start to move into our journal prompts. So if you don't have your journal, get it. Get a notepad, iPad, laptop, phone. It may be helpful to get a journal because it is helpful to write. It can be helpful to write things down. I like to write. I'm old school, but you do what works for you, boo. Okay, so journal prompts for this week. All right. So what we're looking into for week one, or we're calling these weeks our cycles. This is cycle one, is what's beneath the surface. That's what we're going to reflect on over this past week. Reflect on over this past week. Reflect on today for this reset, right? Okay, so the first question is, what emotion have I been avoiding or pushing aside? What emotion have I been avoiding or pushing aside? We probably all have one. Yes? Right? So what emotion have I been avoiding or pushing aside? Write that down. You don't have to answer right now. Just right now, write the question down or just listen to it. Ponder. Ponder. Next question is, if I allowed myself to fully acknowledge it today, what might it be trying to tell me? So this emotion that you've been pushing to the side or avoiding, if you allow yourself to fully acknowledge it today, what might it be trying to tell you? If I allow myself to fully acknowledge it today, what might it be trying to tell me? I want to take a moment and stay here and just talk a little bit about emotions. Right? We all have emotions. What we don't all have is the time, space, support, and tools to respond to those emotions in a way that is always productive. And so sometimes if we don't have the time, space, support, and tools to respond to those emotions in a supportive way, in a productive way, we ignore them. And sometimes we may know, I don't have time to deal with this, or we may think, I don't have time to deal with this. I don't have enough space in my mind, heart to deal with this. I don't have enough support to deal with this. And I don't have the skills or tools to deal with this. So what I'm going to do, act like it's not there. And this may not be a conscious decision. It may not be that deliberate of like, hey, I know that I don't have the capacity for this, so I'm not going to deal with it. It may not be that conscious. It may be very subconscious, where you don't even realize you're ignoring this thing. Sometimes we get into the habit of ignoring our feelings so much, numbing our feelings so much, that we don't even realize that we're being numbed, that there's something going on under there. We start to believe like, oh no, I'm cool. I don't feel nothing. But again, we're all humans. We all have emotions, right? Everybody's emotional, right? Not just women, not just cancers. Cancer season, hey. We're all emotional. Some of us just ignore our emotions. And so what we will be working on is learning how to name and acknowledge our emotions. And something that is true is that when we are able to name what we're feeling, that alone is comforting to the nervous system. It's like when you develop language. It's like if you can't remember something, it's like, what is that thing called? What is that thing called? You know, that feeling of like, ooh, I don't even know what this is called, but I know I know. And then somebody says a word, that relief you feel was like, or applesauce, whatever it is, right? That relief is similar to the relief we have when we're able to label our emotions and say, this is what this is. I was disappointed. I feel abandoned. I feel unappreciated. I feel jealous, right? Whatever it is, we're able to be very honest and clear about labeling what it is that we feel. It helps our nervous system feel seen and heard and settled. What we all look for as humans, while all of our nervous systems are different, the thing that we have in common that we all look for is being seen and understood. That's something that children look for from their caregivers. Do you see me? So I always like, mom, 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 right? Because that's the safety net. And I need to make sure my safety net can see me to know that I'm safe. Once you become the adult, you have to become your own safety net. And your community becomes your own safety net, right? But you're step one, right? Because you're the first person who's feeling what's going on in here. And when you start to ignore the emotions are like, mom, 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 right? Or maybe it just stops crying. Doesn't mean baby not sad no more. Baby just doesn't think that mom is coming. And so what we can do to love on our inner selves, our inner child, is we can stop ignoring what we're feeling and we can be real, at least with ourselves. Maybe you're not ready to talk to anybody else about it. That's okay. Maybe you can only admit it to yourself. I miss this person. I'm sad. I'm lonely. Whatever it is. Maybe you can admit it to yourself today, this week. I don't know. But that's what this prompt is about. I'll read the questions again, and then I have one more that I'm adding. So, again, focusing on what's beneath the surface. The question is, what emotion have I been avoiding or pushing aside? If I allow myself to fully acknowledge it today, what might it be trying to tell me? Okay. Last question I'm going to add on before we get into our grounding and breathing is, what part of myself have I been shrinking to make others comfortable? Okay. And so maybe you are aware of what the emotion is, but maybe you don't think the people around you can deal with it. And so maybe you've been hiding it. Maybe you've been making yourself smaller so that everybody else around you feels more comfortable. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. You know. And so this is your opportunity to reflect on it. So again, what part of myself have I been shrinking to make others comfortable? Add that on. Right? Okay. Very excited. Again, this is for you to respond, to reflect on for yourself, to reset for the week. So taking time for your emotions. Alrighty. So if you want to do these now, feel free to do them now. If you want to pause me and then come and close with the grounding technique I'll be sharing this week and the breathing technique that I'll be sharing this week. Completely fine, completely up to you. All right, so the first grounding technique that we'll be doing together is one of my favorites. It's so simple, but I love it. And it's called crowning. And so for this technique, you do use your hands. So if you have something in your hands, you can go ahead and put it down. And you can use one or two hands. So for this, as it says in the name, we take one hand and place it on the crown of our head. So if you want to join me here, welcome to take one hand, place it on the crown of your head. And then with the other hand, you're welcome to kind of move it around and figure out, where do you want to place it? You might do belly, might do heart, might stack this other one here on the crown of your head. Also can do forehead, back of your neck, right? And we'll do a different crowning that kind of uses all of these, but I mean, a different technique, a different week that uses all of these. But for this one, let's feel free to get curious, move around until you choose one. Find the one that's for you and allow yourself to settle in here for a moment. So as you root down into your seat, allow your hands to gently add pressure to the crown of your head. You might imagine Your hands creating this container. Sometimes the thoughts in our mind go so fast, or there's so much going on in our head all day. And I like to think about this crowning as just like compressing all of that down, slowing all of that down, holding everything still for a moment. And when I have a slight headache, sometimes this slight pressure can feel really nice. Welcome to have your eyes open or closed. You might soften your gaze. Take a moment here and allow your breath to expand your body as you inhale. Soften your body as you exhale. And welcome to take a deep breath in and out. You're welcome to keep your hands here. If it feels good for you and you want to stay with it. Whenever you're ready, start to slowly release them down off of your head. Take a moment to allow your awareness to stay with the crown of your head and to see what you feel here and now. Any warmth, any coolness, any tingling, any energy you notice there. And does it feel tolerable to stay with it for a moment? Ready? You might take another deep breath here in through your nose. Exhale to let it back out. Next, we'll start to move into our breathing technique for our for this reset. And so I'll be introducing us to different breathing techniques each time we have one of these resets. And the one that I want to start with is one of my favorite, and it's one of the most simple ones to me. And it's simply mindful breathing, right? So instead of doing something where we're controlling the breath in a certain way, which I will introduce this to as we go throughout the days, but before we got into manipulating the breath and breath holding and things like that, I wanted to start with just mindful breathing because I think it's so powerful to be present with your breath because it's something that most of us don't do. We all breathe all day long and all night long without having to think about it. But again, we don't often take the time or have the space and support to just notice your breath and be present with your breath in a really focused way. And so that's what we'll spend a few moments doing. So when you're ready, take a moment to get comfortable in your seat. And we'll start with noticing your breath's natural rhythm as it flows into and out of your body. You're not doing anything to change the breath. You might notice the length of your inhale, the length of your exhale, and the pauses in between each inhale and each exhale. Notice how your body feels as you breathe in, and if anything changes as you breathe out. Notice which parts of your body move as you inhale and how it moves as you exhale. You might feel a coolness on the tip of your nostrils as you breathe in, and maybe some warmth at the top of your lip as you breathe out. Maybe you can hear yourself breathing in and hear yourself breathing out. A really personal sound that only you and a few other people have access to. Welcome to spend a few moments here noticing inhale and noticing exhale. Maybe you even notice the pause that naturally comes in between each inhale and each exhale. Noticing the pause at the end of your exhale and the end of your inhale. Welcome here to take another big breath in through your nose. And maybe you let it out through your nose. Eyes are closed. I invite you to blink them back open. Start to come back together. Welcome to let out a sigh, let out any sound. It feels good for you. Okay. So that is mindful breathing. Mindful breathing is exactly what it says in the name. It's about simply being mindful of the breath, noticing the breath, being present with your breath, every part of it. So not changing anything about it. You don't have to slow it down, speed it up, anything. It's simply taking time to notice each part of your breath, each breath over and over and over. So taking just a few minutes to slow down. Right? I love the simplicity and the beauty in that simplicity. As I said, I will share other breathing techniques that are more manualized, but I love to start with that because breathing and focusing on the breath is not soothing for everybody. It's not soothing for every person's nervous system. Breath holding is something that can be activating for some people. And so I like to make sure that I give different options. And also just to let people know in general, if focusing on your breath is something that is not calming for you, it doesn't mean anything is wrong with you. It just means that that particular tool isn't helpful for you. And so something you can do if focusing on the breath alone isn't helpful is doing other things while you're focusing on your breath, or doing other things just while you're breathing that allows the breath to slow down. And so that might be rubbing certain textures. It might be painting, any other thing, right? Sometimes you need to give your brain something else to focus on. So if mindful breathing is not helpful for you, never do it again. If it is and you loved it, always welcome to come back to this video. Okay, thank you all so much for completing day 5 of the 35-day somatic yoga challenge. I am so excited to be going on this journey with you all. So excited to see what the next 30 days will bring. And I hope to see you all tomorrow for day 6, going back into core and glute yoga fusion. Enjoy this rest time, y'all. Have a good night. Bye.